Do you mean like the Anti-Nowhere League? No, that's a punk rock band, the League of Conservation Voters. Oh, hey, we're on! Welcome to Vox Terra with your host, me, Matt LaCrow, helping people refocus the political will from anger over divisive hot-button social issues to focus on our common interest, the health and long-term survival of our species. Have a laugh and randomly muse. Today's show: the elections, judicial appointments, fossil fuels, the Republican Party, and the media, with me, Benny, and what the media has been leaving out, environmental voter scorecards. Finally, listener feedback with me, Rusty. First up, the power of the fossil fuel industry in the media and the GOP with Benny. If I care about our environment and our long-term survival as a species, should I be voting Republican or Democrat or some third party? Let me handle this one. Instead of listening to Matt here, this is Benny. I used to consider myself a conservative Republican. Then that self-image started to crack when I saw environmentalists protesting Reagan. That was a long time ago. Protesting him? A lot of what claims to be conservative Republican these days is, I think, a front for the fossil fuel interests. The more reckless elements, what I call the pollute as you want elements, are the business community. Is that what you think? Take Trump. First actions of the new prez and Republican-dominated Congress. Come on, the first actions, well, what were those? Push forward with Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines. Roll back regulations on the dumping of coal ash. That doesn't sound too good, does it? Remove references to climate change or global warming from White House and other governmental websites. Well, why wouldn't they want us to hear about that? Allow for more drilling on public lands. New offshore oil drilling. You want all this oil spilling everywhere? Is that what you want? Roll back regulations on methane leaks. Lower auto fuel efficiency standards and allow previously banned pesticides back on the market. Well, none of that sounds too healthy to me. But when you listen to the news, you mostly just hear about these social issues. I can't figure out which way is up. Exactly. That way, those what I call reckless elements of the business community are able to take advantage because the media under-sensationalizes and under-reports the cost of an economy based on consumption, disposable products, without having to pay for the tons of toxic waste and greenhouse gases that it generates each year. Tons of them, you say, do you? Well, why would they do that? We are talking about some of the wealthiest industries on the planet. Who wants to upset advertisers and risk interrupting the money train? The money train? I wouldn't want to interrupt a money train. During the 2016 presidential elections, all the debates, I cannot remember one reporter asking a single question about the environment. Well, I can't really either. I almost never hear environmentalists or business and government watchdog groups interviewed about politicians or Supreme Court picks. Come to think of it, you really don't. So, Matt, if Benny doesn't like Republicans anymore, are we saying Democrats are the answer? The Democrats in general tend to respond to the pressure of us environmentalists, while, especially at the national level, in general, Republicans do not. Sounds about right. At first, Obama was going to support Keystone XL pipeline, but then environmentalists pushed back. Obama sided with us. Trump got in and pushed it through. Pipelines are a dirty business. Fracking in New York. Cuomo was on the fence, maybe side with the frackers. But we environmentalists kept pressing and he banned it. Brown in California is sticking to higher auto fuel efficiency standards and going to court with the federal government. Well, that's awful nice of him. But with many Democrats, it feels like we're just one more item on their checklist. Well, Bernie Sanders actively campaigned on the environment, and he has teamed up with Bill McKibben, a leading voice on climate change. He's calling for a Green New Deal. Green New Deal? I like the sound of that. And his
candidates at the Our Revolution are calling for 100% renewable energy by 2050.
You got to aim high. That's a fantastic idea. But if the media doesn't cover much how politicians and judges are helping or harming the environment, like you and Benny were saying, how do we know all this?
There are some great environmental groups. Look at them: Environmental Defense Fund, Union of Concerned Scientists, Sierra Club. Some put out voter guides, like the League of Conservation Voters. They have a terrific environmental voter guide and scorecard for the entire Congress, and they even talk about judges.
Well, we sure could use something like that.
Hey, Rusty, did we get any listener feedback?
We sure did. Andy posted right on YouTube. He said there were hours and hours of coverage on Hurricane Florence, but not much mention of why the storm lingered so long on the coast.
Super point, Andy. You should be on Vox Terra. We can't wait for the day when the media will wake up. The deniers can deny right up until doomsday. Keep it simple and repeat. Dump tons of toxic, heat-trapping gases into the atmosphere each year, and they will do just that. Trap heat and change the atmosphere. And if you don't believe that, revert to my favorite, the 2-for-1. Hurricane Florence spilled those toxic coal ash ponds into the waterways. The same industries heating the planet are generating tons of toxic waste.
I've got another one. Sammy, he was on a friend's Facebook page. Sammy said, never enough evidence to persuade some people. It's about tribalism at this point.
People are moved by repeated messaging coming from different sources. The so-called tribal identities are really grand coalitions of interest groups. They are not all naturally aligned. Bringing people together for our common survival is a goal we are called to do. As it says, blessed are the peacemakers.
Susan on Facebook said she liked the message but found the puppets distracting.
Should we drop the sketch comedy with a puppet idea?
Wait a minute. Andy, Sammy, and someone's dad said they'd like the puppets.
Has Dad ever seen Elmo?
Sammy did say he'd like to see our mouths move, though.
Well, let us know what you think. Any topics you'd like addressed. Post, like, follow. Until then, peace be with you.